All right, UH Nation, my name is Reid Nelson. This is Izzy Alcavas. This is the Season 7 premiere. 7th season. All of these are available on YouTube if you want to go look back into the past. I was actually watching the Halloween episode last night, one of my favorites. That and the outtakes. So, enough about This Week in Rec. Season 7 premiere, a new season, 27 teams. Let's rewind to yesterday. Rebels lose the opener without Monska and the addition of Klobe. Is Klobe the biggest addition in Rec this season?
Literally or figuratively?
Well, it would be literally or figuratively, both.
I guess yes to both in terms of potential impact. Now, here's the issue. He's dominant. However, the Rebels historically have been a defensive team. Klobe's not your dynamo on defense, right? He's your anchor on offense. You give him the ball and just let him eat. So their MO has always been all 5 guys on the court are busting their hump on D, and they turn teams over and they just get in other teams' heads, just make it uncomfortable. I didn't watch the game because I was playing at the same time, but I'm assuming that they've changed their style of play to incorporate Klobe. Now, will it work eventually? Most likely. But I think it'll take them a few weeks to get rolling. If by midway through the season it's still not clicking, it might not happen. It might just not be the right fit. That said, I think they went 0-4 one season or 0-1-3. Everybody's writing them off, including myself, and they snuck into the playoffs as like a 16 seed and they won the whole thing. So it's been done, but Klobe's a guy you don't want to mess with.
Losing Monska hurts how much?
I think they'll be fine. They have Cody. They'll be fine without Monska this season because their offense will go through Klobe. Now, Klobe's more dynamic and just better offensively than Justin is. Where they're going to miss Justin is the fact that he adds another perimeter defender that's actually, he's pretty solid as a defender. So I think that's where they'll miss him, but not on the offensive end.
Before I forget, I got to mention, 2 weeks from last night will be July 23rd. We're going to do a little kind of a special thing for Ultimate Hoops. 5:15 on July 23rd, that's the beginning of week, or that's the opener of week 3. From 5:15 to 6:15, we're going to be busting out what's called Dr. Dish. And Rich Melzer, who is our Bloomington South trainer, is actually going to talk a little bit about what that is. I'm going to let him introduce it here. All right, Ultimate Hoops Nation, my name is Reid Nelson. I'm here with Rich Melzer. Rich Melzer is the Bloomington South Ultimate Hoops trainer. We're here to talk about a unique and interesting opportunity that we have for Ultimate Hoops participants. July 23rd at 5:15, we're going to set up what's called a Dr. Dish, and we're going to give you guys the opportunity to try it out for free. Now, Rich, what is the Dr. Dish?
Dr. Dish is actually the latest in basketball technology. It rebounds the basketballs for you, it trajects them, it implements hundreds and hundreds of different drills. I mean, it really is something that can take your game to the next level.
So again, July 23rd, 5:15. Come down here to warm up for your game. Come down on here to work on your shot. Come on down here to meet Rich. Any one of those is a valid reason to come on down and try out the Dr. Dish. Again, Ultimate Hoopers, this is your opportunity. You can actually reserve a spot by commenting on this article below. You guys all know how to comment. We're going to take around 18 guys. We're going to do 3 separate 20-minute segments starting at 5:15, July 23rd. We'll see you week 3, Bloomington South Rec. We'll see you then. That was Rich Melzer. Again, you'll have the opportunity to test out Dr. Dish for free, 5:15, July 23rd, Bloomington South. Back to this week, the Muskies, the new look Muskies. I mean, wow, I didn't expect that. So before we chat Muskies, I had a chance to speak with Casey Schannauer. He talked about both the additions and the subtractions. All right, UH Nation, we're with Casey Schannauer, GM of the Muskies, new look Muskies, extremely new look Muskies. Talk about the new addition. Start with Junius.
Yeah, Junius. Well, first of all, wanted to rewind to last season. Had a tough loss in the playoffs to the defending champ Avengers. Feel like we should have won that game. It was close. We were one piece and a few mistakes from a win. And we kind of went in a different direction in a sense. Junius with Fob obviously not coming back. Wanted to play, and the Good Thumpers are coming back. So I talked to Junius. We play well together on Fob. Come off the bench together well as in addition to that, and we got him on the team. And Junius is high energy, good strategy. He's probably the smartest player in Ultimate Hoops, I'd say, as far as strategy and also motivation. He's probably one of the crucial intangible players in all of Ultimate Hoops, I feel like. So
he helped bring over Rablin, for one, who was an
He did.
MVP candidate a couple seasons ago. He got my vote, actually. Talk about what that – I mean, the Muskies have been a middle of the pack team. You wouldn't consider yourselves that anymore with Rablin, right?
Right. I mean, we want to go up to that upper middle tier after being in the dumps for a while. We've had a lot of fun. But Rablin brings a lot of different things. I mean, he can shoot outside. He's awesome on the wing, and he can post up. He's that versatile big man that's really going to make the difference for us.
Who else have you added?
We've also added Bennett Lang, who
wasn't there last night. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Right. And this summer is going to be rough, I think, for everybody. People going in and out, vacations, all that. So we wanted to go with 8. So we got Bennett, who's one of the best shooters in rec, probably.
Well, yeah, he's one of the most underrated players in rec, actually, I would say. So.
Sure. So we got him, number 25. He's going to be coming back next week. And hopefully he'll make a big difference for us as well.
So with all the additions, you've got to say goodbye to a couple players.
Hey, one more addition, though.
Okay,
Two more additions.
I guess we weren't done. I got ahead of myself. Go ahead.
A shout out to Tom Jacobson from Showtime.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
He showed up to a few games last season for Showtime, and he had a good showing last night. We're all getting used to each other, but he's high intensity. He's quick. He's aggressive. That's what we need to. Last season we passed around a lot on the outside, and that doesn't win games all the time. And also Brian Trowan, played with him in a draft tournament, probably.
Big body.
Yeah, huge, big dude. Actually, he lost a lot of weight since college, but played in a draft tournament, almost won it with him and Zach Burke. I tried to get him a couple years ago and didn't work out, but him and Tom were kind of a package deal, and they came in, and they're huge as well.
So, I mean, obviously with all those additions, now you had to say goodbye to a couple people. Talk about the subtractions.
That was very tough. Two of my very good friends, Tyler Weigman and Josh. Josh actually gave the chance to come back and play. He didn't want to play with 8 or 9 guys. And Tyler wanted to take a season off. He says he's getting old. Everybody gets old when they're like 28, 29 now. So he's going to be done. But, those guys, we gained a little size, and they were great guys to play with. And that's the thing with Ultimate Hoops, too, is it can be a friendship thing. And we come together, and it's kind of painful when you have to make those decisions or, let guys go in a sense.
GMs have to do that sometimes, and it's not always easy. Now, you guys took the Guerrillas down to the wire yesterday. Talk about just the different mindset you're going to have this season compared to last.
We did. It's not going to necessarily be a drop back into a lazy man, which we're used to doing. We want to burn some calories in a sense and get up and down the floor a lot. But, when you put a lot of pressure on teams on defense, sometimes it's hard to settle down on offense. And I think that's where we're going to have our biggest struggle, but I think it'll come together.
Prediction for the season, how many wins?
I think we're going to go 5-3. I'm going to be conservative.
Sounds good, sir. Well, thank you for your time, Casey.
Thank you.
That was Casey Schannauer. Muskies add Rablin, Junius, Bennett Lang. I mean, are we talking about a team that could win the Gold Cup potentially?
No, but they can make things interesting.
No.
The odds, and if we came out with odds, they'd probably be like 75-1.
Oh, come on. I think I'd put $100 on that all day long.
And you'd lose your $100.
I don't know.
So here's the thing. They're good, right? But you need to be elite at something to win. And they're not elite at anything. They're good at a lot of things. But I just don't think they have enough. I just don't think so. I love Bennett. Rablin's a beast. Casey's extremely underrated. One of the best stretch bigs that we have in this league. Junius is gonna game plan really well, like he always does. And they're talented. There's no doubt about it. Tom Jacobson's a hustle, great guy to have. I just don't think they're good enough to win a Gold Cup. I think they can make the Final Four by putting together a couple good games in the playoffs. I just don't think they're good enough to win.
So Broncos big smash yesterday, sort of an interesting game. I think a lot of people came into that and was like, well, big smash. I think they're going to run over the Broncos. The Broncos ended up winning. The additions of Jake Thompson, Xavier Hussein, Abdi Mohammed really helped out. And Noe a big smash. Let's first talk about the Broncos and what do you expect from them this season? Even though on paper they were always a good team, and now they've got more talent, but they really played well as a team yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, those guys have played together. I mean, they play a lot up here together. The additions do. So it's basically Broughton, Fredrickson, and Morris from the Broncos, and Adam Kidd, I guess, retained, and then they added those 4 guys. Mm-hmm. It's a better team overall, more talented. They'll work harder, the whole bit. I'm with you on that. The issue will become what's going to happen when the going gets tough with that team. I don't think they have a true leader, a guy that's going to game plan, a guy that really can get everybody focused when things start to derail. So that'll be a thing to watch. But in terms of talent, they're great, and they're going to be a fun team to play against and a fun team to watch throughout the season, I think. So
they beat the new look, old look Big Smash, who pairs both Antoine Lynch and Glenn Fair with the additions of Arsenio Richardson, Ryan Pachia, Noe Mendez. Can that, and I don't know myself, which is why I'm asking you, can Wells, Richardson, and Mendez coexist in the same team, one basketball?
No. Here's the problem. Noe is awesome, but he shouldn't have joined that team. He would have been much better off joining a team like the Muskies, or even a team like maybe not the Broncos, maybe even the Broncos, had they needed a player. And here's why. Big Smash is all isolation. Nobody moves off the ball. Nobody spots up. Nobody screens for anybody. It's just a lot of one-on-one basketball, a lot of chaotic movement. Noe thrives in a system where players get open, and he creates space for these players. So you're taking his best asset, and you're taking his best. That was close.
That was good.
You're taking his best asset, and you're not even utilizing it. So they need to figure out a way. Either they're going to play the way Noe wants to play, or Noe's going to have to figure out he might just end up being a spot-up shooter on that team, because Arsenio and Greg like to dominate the ball as well. I'm interested to see how they figure it out. It's not promising for me, though.
If you were leading that squad, hypothetically, would you basically designate Noe the full-time point guard? And, because, Greg says he likes to play too, but he really wants the ball.
Yep.
And Arsenio, I like Arsenio as a point guard, but I think Noe has to control the ball.
Yep.
Him playing off the ball just doesn't make any sense.
I think the way you make that team work is if you have Arsenio and Greg out there with Noe. Outside of Lynch and Glenn, those guys should be working off of each other, and you should have the 2 other guards outside of Noe working off the ball. Completely off the ball, whether it's curling around screens from the big men down low, spotting up for mid-range, or fighting over a pick to hit a 3. I just don't like them running around aimlessly. There needs to be some sort of game plan. And as soon as the ball goes in the hoop, or as soon as the rebound's made, get the ball to Noe. Those other 2 guys have to know they're designated to either spot up on the wings or work off the big men for mid-ranges, curling to the hoop, so on and so forth. Noe will end up finding them. But it's got to be organized, and Big Smash has never been organized. Am I right?
We'll see how that works out. So fast forward to tonight. A decent finish in the Huskies Callahan Auto Parts game. I'm just going to run it for you. You can see it there. Steven Kelsey with the game-winning layup at the end there. Huskies take down Callahan. Callahan with only 5 guys, but Kevin Chase has actually joined the Guerrillas as well. MVP candidate last year. Talk about what he not only means to the Guerrillas, but he's going to have to mean to Callahan now that, I don't know how many players they have, but they lost Pat to the Pigeons this season.
Yeah, well, he's the anchor for both teams in terms of paint protection, defensive rebound, and offensive rebounds. Kevin Chase type of players, the Kevin Chases, the Will Chalfants, the Paul Ferbers, I'm missing good ones. I apologize if I didn't name you in the 3 there. Those types of players, the defensive bigs, are so important in this league because they have an athletic advantage over everybody, and rec doesn't really have that many athletes. So when you have people going to the lane and you have these 6-7 athletes in the paint, it makes things a nightmare for teams. So Callahan will always be good defensively, especially inside the perimeter because of Kevin Chase. He'll clean the boards, and the same thing goes for the Guerrillas. He'll take care of everything inside the paint, and anytime anybody gets by him, they're good. So if Callahan wants to make some sort of deep run, it's not going to come from Kevin because he's a defensive guy. It's going to have to come from, Kelsey's going to be huge for him, but Kelsey's historically lost his head during games and just does the most random things, and you're like, what is he thinking? So if Kelsey can kind of contain himself and utilize his abilities, he's one of the most talented players in this league in terms of dribbling, scoring, shooting. So they also, like Big Smash, they need to get organized and make sure that when there are 5 guys on the court, everybody knows their role. And if they can do that, they can make a run similar to like the Muskies could.
I think we're confused there because Steven Kelsey is with the Huskies.
Oh, Steven Kelsey's with the Huskies.
Yeah, he's not playing with Callahan this season.
Somebody told me he was with.
No, he's the one who shot the game-winning shot for the Huskies.
For the Huskies. Oh, my apologies. So is J-Mike's on Callahan?
Correct.
Okay, I got him flipped. So then J-Mike's going to have to run the show. I thought Kelsey's on. If that's the case, J-Mike's a great player, but he's not as dynamic as Kelsey. And I came in late, so I didn't see the end of that game, so I apologize. But if they don't have a dynamic player on offense, I don't think they're going to be good enough to really make that difference. They lost Pat's athleticism, Steve Hart from last season, a guy that could, get a couple easy buckets. It'll be interesting to see who they add and kind of how next week plays out. It's tough when the good teams play each other early because teams are getting used to each other, and then it just kind of all falls apart.
Yeah, speaking of that, last game of the night tonight, Avengers, the defending champions, they add Zhao. We'll get to them in a second. Pigeons, new look. You come over, Dustin comes over, Pat comes over. Casey, original Pigeon, Helmy, original Pigeon, and then Will Chalfant came up. So I think that squad is going to be pretty good. It'll take them a little while to gel, but I do want to talk about the defending champions. They add Zhao Li. Noe is not in attendance tonight. Who did they subtract? Did they subtract anybody?
No.
So they're going to be at 9 this season?
8.
So they had 7 last season. Okay. So they add Zhao Li. Zhao Li played well tonight, just like he never left. Talk about his addition.
He's great. Best scorer in Ultimate Hoops right now. Whenever he plays, he's the best scorer in Ultimate Hoops. With Zhao and Noe, it'll be interesting because Zhao is really good with the ball in his hands, but he can also work well off the ball. On the flip side, here's the issue. Zhao is one of those players that he's open and he gets that split second and he needs to catch and shoot. Sometimes Noe, when working with other perimeter players, he misses that split second. He's always just a touch late. He's really good working with big men because he's able to penetrate and dish, and those big men can get open and kind of create space for them. And Zhao likes the ball in his hand. He's dangerous in triple threat. So Derek will have to figure out what's the best thing to do. Have Zhao run around and have Noe always keep his head up looking for him? Or do they split duties in terms of touching the ball and, maybe they're not in the game all the time together? With 8 guys, it'll be interesting to see if they can stay in rhythm. But when you have Zhao, he's a guy that can score 10 points in a minute by himself. So they're always dangerous. And sure, they're more potent this season, It'll be interesting to see defensively with Noe and Zhao at the same time if they can handle teams as long as they're patient.
It's going to be an interesting season. There clearly isn't a favorite, I don't think. Yes, the Rebels might be better, but I don't know. I think losing Justin's going to hurt. So,
yeah,
there
isn't a favorite. I mean, the Avengers tonight looked a little off. I mean, the Pigeons, that game, first of all, is all my fault. Well, in terms of if you look at if there was a plus-minus tonight, I was probably minus 40. I think I was like 0 for 7 from deep. Didn't make I made a jumper, maybe 1 for 10, 1 for 11 for the game. I was horrendous. And then
but you look good.
I look great.
You look good.
I look great. At halftime, it was 25-38. Dustin DuPont and Pat Magnuson scored 14 straight points to put the Pigeons up. The game was 52-48, 52-52. I checked in, so it's a plus 13. I check in, and then it's 70-50. It's 56.
Yeah, it was a tough run.
I may have not actually it may have not been all me, but my plus-minus was awful. So I'll take the blame this week. Everybody on the team really struggled offensively. I don't think anybody really did well. It was an issue of meshing, but Izzy, the co-host with Reid Nelson, cost the Pigeons tonight with a minus 40 on the plus-minus.
It's okay. It's a long season. It's early. It's going to be a great season. So stick around, Ultimate Hoops. There's still an opportunity to sign up. If you want to get in there, there's reach out to one of us, and we'll get your team registered by week 2. So thank you, Izzy. Good insight tonight. Welcome to Season 7. We'll see you guys next week.